What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 169 of the Idiotic Sports Talk. I'm your host, Liam Gavin, coming to you live from my dining room. And today I want to give you all the NBA play-in tournament round 2 picks of who I think is going to win and lose tonight. Tip-off is tonight in less than an hour. And so far, I'm 2 for 2 on my play-in picks. This is the last night of the play-in tournament, so we'll see how it goes. There's 4 teams that enter, but only 2 teams will advance to the playoffs. And in the Eastern Conference, we have the Miami Heat taking on the Chicago Bulls. This game is a win and you're in, and if you lose, you go home for that final spot in the Eastern Conference, which is the 8th seed, as I mentioned. This game could go either way. The Heat are super inconsistent, while the Bulls are nothing special as well. However, the Bulls have played well since the All-Star break, and the Heat on Tuesday night were unable to get things going against the Hawks. And when they finally started going on a run, the Hawks were able to respond with some offense, and the Heat got absolutely bullied inside of the paint. They were outscored and out-rebounded at will by the Hawks when they were down low. And the ways the Heat can win tonight and save their season, they need to assert dominance in the paint. They need to score and rebound down there. Their center, Bam Adebayo, needs to step up. He got abused the other night. He couldn't do a thing. He couldn't score. He couldn't really grab boards. And their leader, Jimmy Butler, they call him Jimmy Buckets. They call him Playoff Jimmy. He needs to be the leader tonight and not shoot 6 of 19 again like he did a few nights ago. And the 2 guards, the point guard and the shooting guard, Gabe Vincent and Max Strus, they need to step up as well. They scored 9 points against the Hawks on Tuesday night, which is completely unacceptable. As for the bench, the Heat's bench needs to provide a spark. They combined for 37 points against the Hawks, but 33 of those points were just from Kyle Lowry, and I highly doubt that Kyle Lowry has that type of performance again. As for the Bulls, they got a big win on Wednesday night. They were on the road against the Raptors, and they were down 19 points at one time. A win is a win, but when you're down 19 points, that's saying something. Any team does not want to be a part of that. And if it wasn't for the Raptors shooting 50% from the free throw line, the Bulls most likely wouldn't be playing tonight. And speaking of free throws, DeMar DeRozan's daughter, DR DeRozan, won't be attending the game tonight. That means that she won't be able to scream on the top of her lungs and distract the Heat like she did to the Raptors when the Raptors shot free throws. And that really helped the Bulls seal the win because clearly it showed that the Raptors missed half their free throw attempts. The keys to the Bulls' victory: they have to attack the paint. Against the Raptors, they were out-rebounded down there. And Nikola Vucevic, their center, he needs to be more aggressive. He can't be afraid to attack the basket and, put some pressure on Bam Adebayo. As for Zach LaVine, you got to let that guy cook. Put the ball in his hands. He had 39 points the other night. He changed the entire game, especially in the second half when he took over with 28 points just in that half alone. And keep playing that tough and gritty defense like they did the other night. They forced a lot of turnovers, they blocked shots, and they stole the ball a lot. So they have to keep that up if they want to win this game and keep their season alive. This game is a toss-up, like I said, but I think the Heat win in an absolute nail-biter. The final game coming up is in the Western Conference. The number 8 seed Timberwolves take on the number 9 seed Oklahoma City Thunder. Whoever wins this game advances into the playoffs as the 8th seed in the Western Conference. Whoever loses this game packs their bags and goes home. And the undermanned Timberwolves, they suffered a close loss in overtime versus the Lakers on Tuesday night. The Wolves had an 11-point lead at halftime and a 15-point lead late in the third quarter, but their inability to score in the fourth quarter and overtime came back to haunt them. They were down 2 big men, and the Lakers exposed them in the paint. Crucial turnovers late in the game also destroyed their chances of getting the win. And so what can the Wolves do tonight to beat the Thunder and advance to the playoffs? First, they need to score, especially late in the game, something they struggled doing. They need to protect the paint. Anthony Davis for the Lakers had a field day Tuesday night. He absolutely destroyed them down there. But Rudy Gobert, he's coming back from his 1-game suspension. He returns tonight, and that should help solve the Wolves' problems down low. And avoid the sloppy turnovers. The Wolves had about 20 turnovers the other night, which they can't be doing if they want to win this game. And keep Karl Anthony Towns out of foul trouble. He had a very solid game against the Lakers, but he had 5 fouls. And if he got one more, he would have been thrown out of the game. And that changed the Wolves' entire game plan when he had those 5 fouls. And as for the shooting guard, Anthony Edwards, he's a stud, but he needs to have a better game. On Tuesday against the Lakers, He shot 3 of 18 for just 9 points, but I doubt he has that type of performance tonight. As for the Thunder, they won a thrilling game on Wednesday night against the Pelicans. This Thunder team is young, but they are willing to compete, which is what they've been doing all season. Many people say this team is built for the future, which they are. They're set up for the future, but the Thunder are ready to prove that they can compete right now. So how do the Thunder advance into the playoffs? They keep the ball into Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's hands and let him do his thing. He started to heat up in the second half of the Wednesday night game against the Pelicans. And they need to hold down the paint. On Wednesday night, Pelicans center Jonas Valanciunas had his way down there and manhandled them. And they have to make sure that Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert don't do the same thing that Valanciunas did to them. And they need to keep the turnovers low like they did on Wednesday. They barely turned the ball over against the Pelicans. And if they do the same thing tonight against the Wolves, they have a great chance to win this game in advance. And I'm very conflicted on who I want to pick to win this game. I think it's going to be back and forth and down to the wire with a lot of scoring. But I'm going to pick the Thunder. I'm going to pick the Thunder to get the upset and advance as the 8th seed in the West. So that's it for my second round of the NBA play-in tournament. Those are my picks. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know who you're going with tonight. Thank you all for watching. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on my Instagram. Take care. Have a great night.